Someone was asking me about how I made the flooring, and I told them that it was actually just paper. So I'm going to show you how I do it. I bought a set of, I guess they're linoleum floor patterns from Etsy some time ago, and they're just little fragments on a PDF that you download, and it was very inexpensive. And this was the one I chose for the sewing room, but I didn't want the colors. So what I'm going to do is show you how I took it into Photoshop. And what I did is I replaced the colors with the colors that are in the wallpaper that I'm going to put in the room. And I did that with the paint bucket tool. So I'll show you where the paint bucket tool is. And I'll put an arrow by it so that you can see it. And then I went in and chose the colors from the color palette, and then colored each one of those squares differently. And then I also went in, there's the paint bucket tool. You can see the little arrow up there, right there. So if you have Photoshop, that's how I did it. And I also went into Color Replace, which is in a drop-down window under Adjustments. And then way down near the bottom, it's Replace Color. And I replaced the background with a better color. And you do that by picking the color you want to replace and then going to the bottom and choosing the color you want it replaced with and at the strength, the opacity that you want to do it at. And that's how I did the background. So this is, if you haven't used Photoshop, this is not really a very good teaching session for you, but I'm just showing you how I did it. And let me get out of that window. And so that will be the floor, but I also reconfigured the floor so that the pattern would be smaller, because printing this out on 8x11 or 8x14 would make the squares really big. Then I decided I'd make a rug, and the rug is actually based off of a scrap of antique wallpaper. Now I'm not going to make the rug to look just like this, and the wallpaper is quite damaged. So I had to take that into Photoshop as well and repair all of those scratch marks. And this took some time. And I also wanted to reconfigure the color as well. And this is the rug I ended up with. And I cut and pasted the roses in various places and repaired it so you don't see any scratch marks. And then I printed this out on the velour paper to make a rug for the sewing room. And these colors are quite strong, but they won't be as strong once it's printed. It will dull down quite a bit. So I go into my toolbox and I increase the saturation before I print. And here's the linoleum floor as it's going to look in the dollhouse. And you can see the squares, everything's a lot smaller. I had to repattern it so that there would be enough, it would be small enough. And this is the wallpaper that it's going with. So that's the wallpaper that's all printed out. And you've seen that in some of my videos already. And this is actually off of an antique 1930s wallpaper that I had to fix and redo. And there's the floor all printed out. And I printed it out on 8.5x11 sheets this time because the room is small and it doesn't need the 11x14. And there's the rug. I printed that on velour paper and I increased the saturation so that it would show up. And there it is again. And you can see that it has good saturation. And that's the velour paper I used for this. It has a self-adhesive background. I originally bought this so I could put the runner on the stairs. So if you don't want it adhesive, you could just leave the thick backing on it. But what I did is I took the backing off, and I'll take the backing off and just put some tissue paper on the back of it, and that will take care of the sticky part, and it won't be as heavy with the actual backing on it. So that's the velour paper. I got that on Amazon. And there's the flooring again after it's been done. Still on the computer. And you can see the squares are much smaller than the original. And there's some of my floor patterns and wallpapers and things that I've collected. And I'm just going through them, choosing them whenever I need them, and doing them as necessary to fit the dollhouse. And also the wood floors are just this, basically, and it's at a high resolution, so they look pretty realistic. the tile floor, the tile back, and all of this stuff is printed off, including the doors and all of the wallpaper, of course, and you can see the green linoleum floor and that slate floor. Well, thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. Bye-bye.